This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to you finally with the first week of baseball, box scores, observations, and watching all the highlights. With baseball season delayed due to COVID, players opting out due to social injustice, medical preconditions for them, their family members, or them calling off major injuries and do not want to get themselves injured, there's been so much that happened from the last time I did an observation for you guys of all the off-season roster moves, and now here we go. The Yankees kicked off the season against the Nationals, defending champions. The Yankees were batting Judge second and Gardner fifth, and I didn't like that. I was like, okay, cool. They had Aaron Hicks leading off. That's cool. I like that idea. He's a center fielder based on speed. He's not the biggest power guy, but yeah, that was a good idea. Then they decided, scrap that. We're going to bat like Gardner at the bottom, and we're going to put DJ LeMahieu in the leadoff spot. DJ LeMahieu won a batting title on the Rockies as a number 2 hitter. He put up MVP caliber numbers last year. Yes, he might have been batting, a lot of times leadoff, but he's best suited to be number 2. And the then they playing Andujar in left field, and I'm just like, you got plenty of outfielders. You don't need to put him there. But that's another story. In the National, they're going Starlin Castro, Asdrubal Cabrera, and Howie Kendrick and Eric Thames. They're 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters. I'm just not the huge fan of Howie Kendrick batting cleanup. You want a straight up power guy there. So that's why I feel like it always should be Eric Thames. Or when Juan Soto comes back, Juan Soto will bat cleanup. But that's another story because he has COVID. The Giants, they've been all over the place. They had Alex Dickerson, who made the roster, bat cleanup. They were playing these guys named McCarthy and Davis. Like, what is this? Joe McCarthy, I don't know who this Davis is. And their power hitter, Austin Slater, was batting leadoff once. They had Kung Fu Panda or Wilmer Flores batting second, and Donovan Solano batting third. Solano's a utility player, and if he's going to play, then, then you don't bat him third. I don't understand that. And Dickerson, too. That doesn't make sense. I thought, they got Steven Duger, they got Austin Slater, they signed Billy Hamilton, Hunter Pence to minor league deal. As I said, they got Dickerson. So I thought, you know what? They're going to play the guys you actually heard of in the outfield. That's why I was like, who the heck is Davis and McCarthy? And then there were games that Smiley and Gallsman were pitching out of the bullpen when, after Cueto and Samardzija, who else does this rotation really have? So you might as well start them. Dodgers are still doing it. They go out and get Mookie Betts this year. Last year they get A.J. Pollock, and they still kept Jock Peterson, and they still have utility players, Kiki Hernandez and Chris Taylor. That's more than enough people who can play center field. They even had Terrence Gore on the roster to start the season. That's another speedy guy who can play center field. Nope. They're playing Cody Bellinger in center field. And next Muncy or Mookie Betts is batting leadoff, and the other one's batting second. You got Mookie Betts to bat in the middle of your lineup because you have plenty of guys who can bat at the top of the lineup. If you want to bat Mookie Betts top of the lineup because you don't want somebody else to do it, that's fine. Maybe bat Corey Seager second or Gavin Lux second. Nope. They're batting Max Muncy second, which is actually stupid. And then they're starting Chris Taylor and Kiki Hernandez second base instead of the youngster Gavin Lux. The whole entire point was it's Gavin Lux's turn to finally play second base. That's why they didn't make him available in any trades. And then Max Muncy's not even DHing. He's still playing first base, which is why you still see Cody Bellinger in the outfield. Some days they're DHing Chris Taylor, Kiki Hernandez, or A.J. Pollock. I'm like, that's a waste of your DH. They're not power guys. And even Jock Peterson DHing is a waste of his ability. So I don't understand that. Only Matt Beattie DHing once made sense. Now the Mets, they had a great lineup the first day, and then they have a lineup they went the second day, and they keep going back and forth with that. The best lineup is Nimmo leading off, Jeff McNeil second, and then you go a combination of Alonso, Conforto. So you got Nimmo leading off, McNeil second. Then you got a combination of Alonso, Conforto, J.D. Davis, Yoenis Cespedes DHing, and Robinson Cano and Wilson Ramos. That's fine. But then there are other days where they just say, nope, let's have Ahmed Rosario lead off and push Nimmo to the bottom of the lineup, which is pretty darn stupid. And then they're also then playing J.D. Davis cleanup, and I'm like, maybe batting him 6th or 7th would be a good idea. And then Cespedes is not playing every day, so they're not going to play him in the lineup. And they had Pete Alonso batting second after Ahmed Rosario batting leadoff and McNeil batting third. I'm like, I don't really buy that. And Nunez, a short stint with the team, he had some innings in right field. That's not why you add him to the roster. The Braves are still having Acuna lead off most days, and even some days playing center field, which is, again, Ender Inciarte is back. It's not my fault that you as a GM can't figure out that you need a real fourth outfielder. Nick Markakis and Adam Duvall and now Scott Schebler and having you signing Marcelo Zuna and now playing Austin Riley in left field, even though you don't have Donaldson, which is another stupid thing. It's not my fault. You don't have yourself a real backup center fielder on your roster. You have a Danny Echeverria, and you got Solarte in a minor league deal, and you have Matt Adams. You got enough infielders on your team. You need to get yourself a backup center fielder because Acuna playing center field is not the best for you when he's your best player. Don't want to say Adam Duvall in right field because he's not a natural-born outfielder just playing left field when he should be getting the bulk of bats at DH. Same thing with Austin Riley. No business playing the outfield because Camargo wasn't that good. That's why they went and got Josh Donaldson to play instead. Now, other thing is there's no point of batting Inciarte 7th, 8th, or 9th when he's been a leadoff hitter before for you guys. I don't know why you're doing that. Tiger's batting scope 2nd is okay, but he's been hitting a lot of home runs. And there aren't that many runners on when he's coming up. So you would rather have Scope bat after Cabrera goes 3rd, Crone is clean up. And any combination of Candelario at 3rd base, this Peterson or Stewart guy, I think they're playing in left field. And if they're playing Victor Reyes or Travis Dermite if he's on the roster, and then maybe you can put Scope either 5th, 6th, or 7th. Because they're batting Jacoby 9 last, and he's had some good offensive games, and I'm just like, yeah, Jacoby Jones should not be batting last. 7th or 8th? Maybe. Cameron Maven maybe should move up to the 2 spot, or Jacoby Jones should move up to the 2 spot. Maven's there for your defense. That's why you push him at the bottom with the catcher. And it doesn't matter if it's utility player Goodrum or Castro's playing shortstop. They're leading off, so I'm just going to have to accept that. Reds batting Votto 2nd, which again is pretty darn stupid. And then Moustakas and Senzel are still playing second base and center field when the whole point of having a DH is to DH Moustakas and not DH, I don't know, Jesse Winker, Phillip Ervin, you name it. It's one thing to DH your foreign import, you know, Shohei Akimi, play. Don't DH backups. When you could DH Moustakas, Nicky Castellanos. I did like opening day, Phillip Ervin was leading off and play center field, but now they're playing the foreign import, which is fine. And when Moustakas then went on the DL, instead of playing Nick Senzel or Christian Colon, like DH Christian Colon one day, and they played Van Meter, who's a natural-born first baseman who played outfield. No, he's all business playing second base. Use the DH, you got it. Stop playing a really bad defensive team. Blue Jays. What's the point of Randall Grichuk in center field if you're going to play Biggio in right field when he's not an outfielder? He's a second baseman. You were bragging that you had Bichette and Biggio in your middle infield and Guerrero at third base. And Tellez at first base DH, you're pretty much set. But playing him in the outfield is pretty stupid. Playing Panic at shortstop when Bichette is injured and then some nobody at shortstop was really silly to get rid of all your other shortstops when you could just have Gurriel go back to playing shortstop on days that Bichette doesn't play. And he could also be playing third base because they're playing somebody I've never heard of at shortstop when Bichette was gone, and somebody at third base. When you have Brandon Dury on your roster and you got Travis Shaw, one of the two of them can play third base, or you can full-time move Gurriel back to third base if Guerrero's no longer going to play third base and he's going to be limited to first base DH. If there's an opening at third base, that's exactly where you should be playing Gurriel, because Grichuk should be in right field, and between Alfred Davis, Billy McKinney, Derek Fisher, and Teoscar Hernandez, somebody can play center and somebody can play left. Because I've seen a lot of Teoscar Hernandez or Derek Fisher in center field before in the major league. I think you guys can do that. The Rays, I don't understand Charlie Morton being the open day starter. They're starting Chirinos and Yarborough in this rotation instead of Jalen Beeks. He's in the pen still. You didn't get to try Jacob Faria as a starter. You got enough starting pitchers. You don't need openers. Don't understand Yanni Diaz leading off or batting second, or G-Man Choi batting leadoff. It's really stupid. You got Yanni Diaz for his offense. Same thing with Choi. There's no idea to bat Hunter Renfroe second or seventh or eighth when you got him for his bat. It makes no sense. And the foreign import guy, I didn't know he could play third base. I thought he was an outfielder DH. Then I see Brusaro playing first base or DH or second base. What's the point of having Lowe in the lineup if you're not going to play him? Then I don't get why you have Kiermaier and Margot batting like 5th, 6th, or 7th. Like 5th and 6th, Margot and Kiermaier, that's not good offense. That's good defense. Margot can't play center because you have Kiermaier, so he's playing left field. If you're going to use Margot, then you might as well use him at top of the order or bat him 9th as a second leadoff hitter. And also, when you're going to DH Jose Martinez, don't bat him second. Again, you don't have putting the guys where they belong. The Marlins. Jesus Aguilar should not be batting second, and if you're going to play Aguilar and Cooper, you got to bat him in the middle of the lineup. They're there for their offense. I don't understand batting Harold Ramirez cleanup. That's not why you have him. He's a good rotational piece in the outfield. And then Birdie, instead of playing him as shortstop, or if he comes in and plays second or third, no, he's playing center field. Really stupid. Phillies, still using McCutchen in the leadoff spot. You got him for bad. You didn't get him for his leading off capability, nor do you want Rhys Hoskins batting second, because then the bottom of your order is horrible, because after Hoskins, after JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper, you're getting Segura playing third base, is not his position, Didi Gregorius is shortstop, and you're going with Scott Kingery. Now, I did like the fact that they DH Jay Bruce, but DHing Phil Gosselin, waste of your time. Maybe between Roman Quinn and Adam Halsey, one of those guys could be your leadoff hitter. It makes no sense. And if I have to mention, because I put this in the wrong spot, why are the Reds still playing Kyle Farmer a catcher at second base or shortstop? Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, with the Phillies, Jay Bruce should always be the DH, and he should be batting fifth after Bryce Harper bats cleanup, and Andrew McCutchen maybe bats third, or you bat Jay Bruce cleanup, or Rhys Hoskins cleanup. There's no idea for McCutchen and Hoskins to be the top of the order and Jay Bruce to be at the bottom. And the Royals, if they're going to continue to bat Whit Merrifield lead off and then have him play center field and right field because they want to play Franco at third base and Nicky Lopez at second base, fine. Then actually play Nicky Lopez. Some days they're not even playing him. O'Hearn started the year with COVID, so that's why Whit Merrifield's in right field, and you get to see a combination of Cordero, who they got, and Brett Phillips, and Bubba Farland in center field. I like that. Good job there. Don't get the Ian Kennedy in the bullpen. Still, they got Greg Holland, Trevor Rosenthal. They got enough closer experience for a lifetime, and at the same time, he's not even a reliever. You got to get some innings out of the man. Same thing with Jesse Hahn. Now, McBroom playing the outfield, he's a first baseman. I understand with O'Hearn back, you want to get his bat in the lineup. That's when you play Soler at DH, and you bat it in right field, and then you can DH one of those guys. And speaking of Soler, don't bat him second. He's supposed to be the middle of this order, and don't be batting, Mundeside Jr. third either. It's really stupid. Indians, if Cesar Hernandez is the only good option center field because you don't want to start Oscar Machado leading off in center, or between Zimmer and Allen, whoever's playing left field or right field when Domingo Santana or even Framber Reyes doesn't play the outfield. Yeah, so I understand why you want to bat Cesar Hernandez lead off because he's a contact hitter. But why is Ramirez batting second? You want him to bat fifth, okay? Or if I said Luplo's playing left field, Mike, I forgot. Because you want to allow it to be Lindor, Carlos Santana, and Jose Ramirez, and then Framber Reyes and Domingo Santana if they're both playing. Because the rest of your lineup, not the best offensive lineup you could possibly have. And I don't know who the heck this Johnson guy is playing. I know Tyler Naquin's injured, but I've never heard of this guy. This guy's wasting time in the box score, not doing anything. Cubs are stupid to bet Brian Rizzo 1 and 2. Then go buy a Schwarber. No DH or Schwarber. I think you DH maybe once, if you're twice, if you're lucky. They're playing Ian Happ in center field. No Almora because they're stupidly wasting time with Schwarber in left field. They've been wasting time with DH and Caratini. It's one thing if you DH Jason Kipnis or Souza, that makes sense, but Caratini's your backup catcher. Stop playing with first base and DH. And why the heck is Chris Bryant playing the outfield? It's one of the reasons he was pissed last year that you were throwing him in right field last year. Oh my God, what are you doing? They got rid of one of their players, so I guess between Nico Horner, Jason Kipnis, and Ian Happ, one of those guys should be playing second base, and Almora should get the opportunity to play center field, and Souza should be getting left. Because you have the DH, use it, Cubs. Brewers, I don't like the Yelich second, and you DHing Ryan Braun or Yelich and having Avi Garcia still play right field. Well, he's a defensive liability. I don't like the Keston Hiura third. For a couple of days, he was batting second, and Yelich was batting third, which was a good idea. And a lot of games this year, you're seeing Lorenzo Cain batting seventh or eighth. He's there because he's your leadoff hitter. Don't try to reinvent the wheel by playing Sogard or Brock Holt in the leadoff spot. Keep Lorenzo Cain where he is and bat Keston Hiura second. If you like Keston Hiura's bat, they may bat him sixth or seventh, okay? Orioles. Don't bat Iglesias third. You got him for your defense. Santana is probably your best hitter because Chris Davis is no longer the player he used to be. Severino's a backup that has no reason to be playing, and Mancini's out. So that's why Santana should be in the middle lineup with Rio Ruiz and Renato Nunez. No Hanser Alberto in the middle of the order. No, he's a utility player. And again, I didn't understand Tommy Malone as the opening day starter when John Means was an all-star and Alex Cobb is a veteran. I don't understand that. Red Sox. No point of betting Jaden Martinez second. He's your best power guy that isn't Bogarts or Devers. They finally dropped him to the third spot, but then they dropped Benintendi from the leadoff spot to the 8th or 9th, which is like an embarrassment when he was batting leadoff and second most of the time in his career. And then we take Jackie Bailey Jr., Kevin Pillar, Jose Peraza, And Chris Vasquez, I'm betting them ahead of guys like Michael Chavis and Benintendi. I thought that was pretty, and Mitch Moreland. I thought it was pretty stupid. You want to bet your offensive guy after Bogarts and Devers, okay? And if you're lucky, if you go JD Martinez, Bogarts, Devers, you only got to worry about a couple of spots, okay? Especially if Martinez is not betting second. Rangers don't like Dan Santana playing third base or even being your everyday center fielder. Don't understand Sitchu Chu leading off when you can try somebody else. And then they say Sitchu Chu has to play DH to keep him healthy. That's why Gallo can't DH. Well, I've seen a lot of Sitchu Chu in left field this season already, and I've seen a lot of Todd Frazier at first base, despite the fact that Ronald Guzman was on the roster, and they're only playing Alexander Falefa at third base. It's one thing if Matt Duffy was still on the team through spring training and made the team, but you're playing one of your four-string catcher, one of your two backup catchers to your backup catchers, because Trevino and Zaire Kalefa are the backups. The two of them should be backups. There's no need to play Kalefa just so you can play Frazier first base if Guzman is on your roster. Other thing is, why is Gallo getting starts in center field? Why is Trevino starting catcher? Where's Jeff Mathis? Where's Robinson Chirino? The whole point of Gallo playing right field is you have to play center field anymore. Stupid. Rockies are stupid because their doll's still playing center field even though Tapia can play center field, okay? And they got probably a bunch of youngsters like Hillard and whatnot that can play center. No reason for Dahl to play center. And then you would think the middle of the lineup was going to be Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, and David Dahl, and Daniel Murphy. No. David Dahl is also leading off and playing center, is leading off as well besides playing center field. Stupid, okay? And Blackman's batting third when he's been a career leadoff hitter. No sense. Why did you H Tapia? The whole point of getting Matt Kemp and also having Daniel Murphy in your rosters, you could DH them. Why DH Tapia, who's going to play center field for you? And then Garrett Hampson, instead of playing second base, he's out there playing the outfield. White Sox are a huge problem because of Ricky Renteria's ability to want Anderson, Moncada, and Abreu to be 1 through 3. When Anderson's not the best leadoff hitter, Moncada's not a number 2 hitter, Abreu's no longer a 3 hitter. And then Encarnacion and Grandal are batting 4th and 5th. And then they go Eloy 6th. And then they were batting Robert 8th because they had to play Delmonico when Mazar started the year on the DL. And then going Leody Garcia and maybe Adam Engel. Here's the thing. If Leody Garcia was playing all those games, or Adam Engel, or Robert, try one of them in the one spot. And now the Magical's up. Maybe try one of those guys in the one spot. It moves Anderson down 1, Moncada and Abreu down 1. And then it moves a combination of Grandal, Encarnacion, Robert, and if Robert's not up the top low under him and Eloy bat the bottom. And then your last hitter could be Magical, it could be Engel, it could be somebody who's out there to play defense or second leadoff hitter. But yeah, Delmonico was batting 7th and 8th in cleanup and playing right field. Liability, he couldn't even hit. Twins are back to Kepler leading off some days, and Max Garver leading off. I don't understand this. Kepler and Carver hit 30 home runs. Garver should be batting after Sano in this lineup, so would Kepler. You want your lineup to be Nelson Cruz and Eddie Rosario, Miguel Sano, and Josh Donaldson, Sano, before you even get to Kepler or Garver. And if you're like, maybe if Kepler and Garver are batting 7th and 8th, and Byron Buxton's batting 9th, and you put Polanco at the top of the lineup with Araz batting 2nd, maybe, or if you bat Araz 8th and Byron Buxton 8th, and you go Polanco at the top, and then you figure out who's batting 2nd. Yeah, that's a one thing. But you want your power. You don't want Garver and Cave, who has been playing games in center field before Sano. Makes no sense. Donaldson batting 2nd, I said, makes no sense. Martin Gonzalez was playing right field when they moved Kepler over center field. They got Martin Gonzalez to be backup infielder, just pushing your luck. And he's even hitting. Cardinals are going with Colton Wong leading off and Tommy Edman 2nd. Colton Wong's not the greatest hitter, so I wouldn't want him in the leadoff spot. I would try Dexter Fowler used to be a leadoff hitter. And with a DH, you would think Matt Carpenter would be DHing and batting like 3rd or 4th. They're batting DeYoung cleanup, which is a little bit, maybe batting 3rd, but cleanup's too much for DeYoung. You want Goldschmidt or Carpenter bat cleanup. And they're talking about a good O'Neill is hitting-wise. Why is he batting all the way 8th at the bottom of the lineup? You want to move him ahead of Fowler or maybe Yadier Molina. Just an idea. And then, of course, Carpenter DHing, great. They took my advice. I don't get why Adam Frazier batted 3rd some days this year. Ozuna, utility player, was DHing instead of DHing Moran or Josh Bell, and the other one playing first base. They had nobody you never heard of at third base, even though Eric Gonzalez, Kramer, Newman, JT Riddle, and this Tucker guy, all are natural-born shortstops. That one could play third base, and the other one plays shortstop with Frazier at second base. Why are they playing this Evans guy that nobody's ever heard of at third base? And they're playing Tucker in right field instead of Gregory Polanco, who's back from COVID and they also DHing him, because then if you have to play Tucker or Gerard Dyson and Herrera in the outfield all at the same time, it's kind of stupid. Reynolds is totally fine reason left field. There you go. The Mariners, they love this white guy, but like, why is he batting second? Why is Lewis batting third or fourth in the lineup? They have this nobody guy playing first base, DH, or left field. I've never heard of him. Malcolm Smith is the one that was the league leader in stolen bases in the American League. Didn't have a lot, but he's the league leader. Why is he batting 8th or 9th? That's a waste. I've seen, Key Gordon plays second base or left field, bat all over the lineup. He used to be a leadoff hitter. I don't know why you just don't have him lead off. That would make some sense. Bet J.P. Crawford second, maybe. That would bring White and Lewis down the lineup with Kyle Seager and Dan Vogelbach. But between that new guy who's playing first base, DH, and left field, and White, and they're playing utility players, it's like they're screwing over Daniel Vogelbach again. And then Tim Lopes is second baseman. They're playing him in the outfield. I don't understand that. Springer's still doing the leadoff center field thing. Don't like that. Brantley batting fourth. Don't really like that. And now with the guy who won Rookie of the Year, Jordan Alvarez, still not back with the team. They were DHing Elizabeth Diaz until they got hurt. Now they're DHing Tucker and Michael Brantley. Those are things that are smart. Now the Padres, they were batting Machado second, then going Profar Fan 3-4. And I was like, They like Tatis in the leadoff spot, so maybe you bat Profar second. I don't know. But they were playing this guy I never heard of, Olivier, as the DH, or in the outfield. Same thing with this Ty France guy at first base, third base, DH. And then they were DHing, and then their ninth hitter was a DH sometimes. Pretty stupid. You don't DH the ninth hitter. Like, if you want Mejia's bat in the lineup, you DH him. Austin Hedges bat at the bottom. The whole point of having Will Myers is so you can DH him or Josh Naylor, who's a converted outfielder, or Hosmer to give him the day off. They're DHing these nobodies that I've never heard of. It's just, again, what are you doing? You're not using your starter. David Peralta was batting second, but they swapped him with Cole Calhoun. I'd rather see Escobar bat second, not cleanup. Ketel Marte playing the outfield is stupid when you have Lacastro and John Jay on your roster. And Lamb, if you're going to DH, you don't bat him 8th. A's. Seeing Chad Pinder instead of the other guys are just fine. But to have him bat ahead of Canna and Piscotty is one thing. Is injuring Montana as the opening day starter. I didn't see a lot of Franklin Barreto or Tony Kemp yet. And it's one thing to play Canna left field, as I've been saying for years. But center field and right field is really stupid. And then a guy I'd never heard of, Mason, whatever his name was DHing, because Chris Davis wasn't. I'm like, that's the opportunity to DH Canners or Piscotty. I don't understand that. And last but not least, the Angels. Trout batting second. Really stupid when you have a Jolton Simmons and you have David Fletcher and you have Tommy LaStella and Rengifo. Because I would love to see Trout third, Rendon cleanup, Ohtani fifth, Upton sixth, and Poole seventh. And then Tommy LaStella batting third or fifth is way too important in the lineup. Ward, who's a natural-born third baseman, played a lot of first base last year, playing the outfield is pretty stupid. And a Matt Andrees pitching on the bullpen instead of using him as starter when the Angels don't have enough pitching. Yeah, because it's not a big deal at the end of the day. If Brian Goodwin is not leading off and he's batting at the bottom of the lineup, or if LaStella or Fletcher and Jason Castro or Max Stassi's batting last. But yeah, Trout, you want him to bat third because that makes the lineup so much longer and better. Okay, thanks for listening to the first edition of Weekly Baseball Observation and Box Scores of Week 1. I'm Radar. See you guys next time for on the Radar 10 blog. Bye.